let's talk about inverse functions. In here, we will learn how to identify and find inverse functions. So when a value goes into a function, it is called the input. And the result that we get when we evaluate the function is called the output. So commonly, we use x as our input, and then y as our output. So when working with functions, sometimes we will know the output and be interested in what input gave us the output. So to find this, we use an inverse function. As the name suggests, an inverse function undoes whatever the function did. So if a function is named as f of x, then the inverse of that is f inverse of x. So this is the inverse function. So this is read as f inverse of x. The negative 1 here is not an exponent, but this is merely a symbol to let us know that this function is the inverse of f. So it may be difficult to determine just by looking at the functions if they are inverses. So in order to test if two functions, let's say f of x and g of x, are inverses, then we will calculate the composition of the two functions at x. And if f changes the variable x in some way, then g undoes whatever f did. Then we will be back at x again for our final solution. So in other words, if we simplify f of g of x, the solution would be x. Okay, so if it is anything but x, the functions are not inverse. So if the solution isn't x, then that means the two functions are not inverses. So let's try some examples here. Our f of x equals the cube root of 3x plus 4 and g of x equals x cubed minus 4 over 3 inverses. Let's try calculating the composition of these two functions. So we can write f of g of x, or we can just simply write f of g of x. In here we replace g of x with its equivalent, which is x cubed minus 4. So this is f of x cubed minus 4 over 3. So we substitute x cubed minus 4 over 3 for variable in f. And then this would become, since our f of x is equal to the cube root of 3x plus 4, so this would be our f of x cubed minus 4, which represents our x. This expression here represents our x. So we just substitute it to the value of x. So this would be cube root of 3 of x cubed minus 4 over 3 plus 4. Okay, we divide out the 3's here. So this one cancels out. So we are left with cube root of x cubed minus 4 plus 4. And the negative 4 plus 4 is just equal to 0. So therefore, f of x cubed minus 4 over 3 is just equal to the cube root of x cubed. And cube root of x cubed is just equivalent to x. Therefore, the answer to this is yes. They are inverses. Okay, let's try another example here. Okay, our f of x equals 3x minus 2 over 4x plus 1, and g of x equals x plus 2 minus over 3 minus 4x inverses. So again, we calculate the composition of functions. So that is f of g of x. So this is f of x plus 2. We replace g of x by its equivalent expression. F of x is equal to 3x minus 2 over 4x plus 1. So f of x plus 2 over 3 minus 4x is just 3 times x plus 2 over 3 minus 4x minus 2 over 4 times x plus 2 over 3 minus 4x plus 1. So we distribute 3 and 4 into the numerators, and then we simplify here. Okay, we get the LCD, which is 3 minus 4x. Okay, so this would become 3x plus 6 over 3 minus 4x minus 2 over 4x plus 8 over 3 minus 4x plus 1. So we multiply each term by the LCD 3 minus 4x, then we get 3x plus 6 times 3 minus 4x over 3 minus 4x minus 2 times 3 minus 4x. This is, our denominator would be 3 minus 4x times 4x plus 8 over 3 minus 4x plus 1 times 3 minus 4x. And then we simplify this. We reduce fractions here. So let me delete this. Okay. Then by reducing the fractions, we have 3x plus 6 minus 2 times 3 minus 4x over 4x plus 8 plus 1 times 3 minus 4x. Then we combine like terms. We have 3x plus 6 minus 6 plus 8x over 4x plus 8 plus 3 minus 4x. And this one is equivalent to, say, 11. Okay, 11. 3 plus 8 is 11x. This cancels out, this is 0. And then 4x cancels out. 4x minus 4x is 0 for 11. And 11 here cancels out. Therefore, our answer is x. So the answer for this is yes. The two functions are inverses. So while the composition is useful to show two functions are inverse, a more common problem is to find the inverse of a function. So if we think of x as our input and y as our output from a function, then the inverse will take y as an input and give x as the output. So this means if we switch x and y in our function, we will find the inverse. So this process is called the switch and solve strategy. So what are the steps in finding the inverse of a function? First one is we replace f of x with y, then switch x and y's, then we solve for y, then lastly we replace y with f inverse of x. Okay, so let's try solving some problems here. Find the inverse of f of x equals x plus 4 cubed minus 2. So first is we replace f of x f of x to y. So this would become y equals x plus 4 cubed minus 2. Then we switch x and y. So x would become y and y would become x. So those would be x equals y plus 4 cubed equals 2. And then we solve for y here. So we add 2 to both sides and this cancels out. So this would be x plus 2 equals y plus 4 cubed. Then get the cube root of both sides. And we get a cube root of x plus 2 is just equal to y plus 4. Then solving for y here, we subtract 4 from both sides. So this cancels out. So we have cube root of x plus 2 minus 4 equals y. So this is our solution now. And then we replace y with f. This one, f inverse of x. So the inverse of the function, f inverse of x, is just equal to cube root of x plus 2 minus 4. Okay, let's try another problem here. So find the inverse of g of x equals 2x minus 3 over 4x plus 2. Again, we replace g of x with y. So this would become y equals 2x minus 3 over 4x plus 2. And then we switch x and y. So this would be x equals 2y minus 3 over 4y plus 2. Then we multiply both sides by 4y plus 2 to get rid of the denominator. So this would become 4y plus 2 times x equals 2y minus 3. And then, okay, we move y's to one side and the rest to the other side by combining like terms. We distribute this first. So there would be 4x times 4y is 4xy plus 2x equals 2y minus 3. So, okay, then we subtract 4xy from both sides. This cancels out, so we're left with 2x equals 2y minus 4xy minus 3. And then we add 3 to both sides. Then we have 2x plus 3 equals 2y. This cancels out. Minus 4xy. So that's we can factor out y from the right side. So that is 2x plus 3 equals 2y minus 4xy. We factor out y. So this would be y times 2 minus 4x. Then solving for y, we just divide both sides by 2 minus 4x, because the coefficient of y here is the expression 2 minus 4x, and this cancels out. Therefore, y is just equal to 2x plus 3 over 2 minus 4x. Then we replace y with g of negative x. No, the inverse function of x. And that would be 2x plus 3 over 2 minus 4x.